Representing Oxford, we have Dame Kate Barker, a former member of the Bank of England's Monetary Policy Committee and a very distinguished business economist.
There are two key things that dominate the outlook for the UK economy in 2015. The most obvious one is a general election. Whoever wins the general election, and that's pretty uncertain, will have to deal with a very big fiscal deficit. My view is that whoever wins, by the end of the year, we'll be talking about rises in taxation, and that will tend to slow how much households are prepared to spend. The second thing is productivity, how much each person produces per hour. If we don't start to increase the amount that we produce per hour of work, frankly, it's going to be very hard to reduce the kind of debt we've got relative to our income. And that doesn't just mean the government, it also means us all as households. That's one of the reasons that the economy has been so slow to recover. The third thing that people talk about a lot is the bank rate. Is that going to go up? I think it will go up next year, but frankly, I don't think that's the big story. So unlike my colleagues in this competition, I have bank rate going up to 1% by the end of next year. I also have growth slowing a little bit, mostly because of the fiscal factors I talked about before. I think that the fiscal tightening will tend to pull down on the economy. But because I'm optimistic about productivity, earnings will be starting to rise, and I think people will start to see better real incomes growth. So that will help to offset it, and the slowdown in the economy won't be very big. In terms of numbers, for GDP growth, I think the first quarter will be pretty good, pretty much close to 1% in that quarter. But by the end of the year, I think we could have slowed down to only about 0.5%. There are a couple of reasons for this. Firstly, the fact that we may be talking about rises in taxation, and that will push down on household spending. The second thing is that early in the year, of course, we've got a shot in the arm from the oil price. Towards the end of the year, I can't think the oil price will still be falling as much, and actually it may well be rising, partly because some of these moves in the oil price are being driven by politics, not economics. Because I expect productivity to rise, I think earnings will also be rising. That would be good news. We should see real earnings growth carrying on right through next year, and unemployment continuing to fall, although rather more slowly than it has been. So I think by the end of next year, we'll see unemployment roughly around 5.5%.